It's all about me.
This is the Dan Patrick Show podcast.
There is more where that came from.
Click back for new episodes all week long.
Napa know-how.
Your broken AC may not be broken. It may just need a recharge with the Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Just $39.99 plus an additional $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Just pull the trigger and brr. The Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Now $39.99 plus $15 prepaid Visa card. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/18.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave, this is Dan Patrick.
Made it to a Friday, a meat Friday at that. Gang's all here ready to go. Reggie Miller will stop by a little bit later on. Doug Gottlieb from Fox will stop by. Also more on the Jameis Winston possible suspension. We'll check in with the Buccaneers coming up a little bit later on as well. Like to get in touch with the program, you can tweet us at DP Show. You can dial us up, 877-3DP Show. Say good morning to our radio and TV partners. You can watch on DirecTV's Audience Network, channel 239, and the NBC Sports Network. Also, our 330 radio affiliates around the country. NBA draft had a lot of glitz and glamour. You know, the outfits were interesting. Trae Young rocking the short suit. Wendell Carter said his look was inspired by the movie Black Panther. Marvin Bagley had a cool picture of himself in the jacket lining. Everybody in Brooklyn seemed like they were having fun, except for Knicks fans. But you get the feeling that one day we'll look back on this draft with a more critical lens. It feels like everybody drafted where they're drafted was a good draft pick, and that's not going to be the case. TV analysts kept everything positive, but in reality, it's hard to project with these players because most of the top 10 was composed of teenagers. In fact, you had two, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Kevin Knox. They're just 18. So they're still growing, still maturing. And if you're trying to handicap your own 18 or 19-year-old son, it'd be pretty hard to project that to see how they would do just in regular life, as opposed to you're going to the NBA to play with grown men and you're going to make a couple $1 million a year to start out. So very few finished products last night. There was a lot of hype, and there was a lot of athleticism, sharpshooters, wingspan galore, plenty of bold-fashioned choices. Hopefully your favorite team came away from this year's draft with a player whose game is as good as his outfit. I did see a story in USA Today that talked about sort of the demise of the big man is greatly overrated, greatly exaggerated. 5 of the first 7 selections were players 6'10" or taller, magnifying the need to have a versatile big man who can defend multiple positions and score inside and out. With the number 1 overall pick, Phoenix selected DeAndre Ayton. He's 7'1", spent 1 season at Arizona. Sacramento taking 6'11" power forward Marvin Bagley III at number 2, and on and on. Mo Bamba in there as well. Well, it's not how tall you are, it's what you do with your height. What kind of game do you have? Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall. Dirk Nowitzki is 7 feet tall. But it's what you do with your height. So you can have big men on the floor, but they're not the typical big men. Dwight Howard would still be a relevant piece if he was playing in a different generation. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, we're looking at Dwight Howard at the tail end of his career, and somebody's going, man, that guy can still play. He averaged 16 and 12. But in today's NBA, he's a role player. His next job is going to be as a role player. But it's fascinating to think about that possibility. And there have been some speculation that maybe he can end up with the Golden State Warriors or the Boston Celtics. But as far as giving out grades with last night, I told you I need 5 years to assess a draft pick. Not 3 like we do with the NFL. But if you're saying, hey, who did you like initially with just who they drafted and what you think they're going to do? Well, I mentioned yesterday, I wouldn't have been surprised if Dallas went up and got Doncic because he could be the heir apparent to Dirk Nowitzki. And you have Mark Cuban, who understands we've been irrelevant. You know, Dennis Smith Jr. is a nice player. Dirk's going to come back one more year. I get Doncic in there with Dirk. Okay, maybe he can help him out and he can be the next 10 or 15-year guy that we want on this roster. As far as the top of the draft, I think Phoenix did well. I really do. Atlanta did well. And this is just projecting out there. Remember Trae Young was slipping? He didn't slip that far. He was out of the lottery. Michael Porter, I get it. It's a back injury. And if you're not sharing all the information with me, and I think there are varying reports that maybe his agent, wasn't sharing all the medicals with everybody. But at one point, and I want to ask Doug Gottlieb this, at what point do you say he's worth the risk? Is 14 worth the risk? Is 7, is 8, is 9 not worth it? But 14 is, and it's Denver. The Knicks fans wanted him. But the Knicks fans have no idea what they're doing. They're clueless. Hey, Kevin Knox. Boo. Okay, you don't even know. You probably had no idea who Kevin Knox was. You boot Porzingis, all right? But, I looked at Porter and I go, okay, what is he, right now, what was he a year ago? And at 14, if you're Denver, okay, you take a shot. But if you look at previous drafts here, let's say in the last 5 years, there are a lot of guys who are good, bordering on great, who have been taken in that 10 to 16, 17 slot. A lot of really good players. It's not a place where you can go, let's just try it, roll the dice on this. And Denver is a team that came close to making the playoffs. And that's a good team. Now, if he's able to play, then Denver makes the playoffs. I really believe that. I think Denver is on the cusp of making the playoffs. So you're trying to handicap this, and it's really hard to do at 18, 19 years of age. Now, I look at the 76ers. I have no idea what the 76ers did last night because you drafted the guy that I thought you should draft, who I really like, Mikal Bridges. The fact that his mom works for the 76ers, local player. One of the great stories of the draft. Mom is so excited. She's just pumped. It's great. Dad's crying. It's just unbelievable. And then all of a sudden, the 76ers have announced that they've traded Mikal Bridges to the Phoenix Suns. He's doing interviews, talking about great stay home and all this. Oh, my gosh. And then all of a sudden, he's going to Phoenix. And Phoenix got a great player. I really believe with what he does, you got 2 guys. So he was traded for Zaire Smith. They're opposites. Zaire Smith doesn't shoot the 3. He's extremely athletic, but not ready to play right now. If we're still in the process, okay. If you're in the process, take Michael Porter Jr., if that's the case. Eventually, you got to graduate from the process. You won 50 games last year. Mikal Bridges helps you right now. I don't know what happens with J.J. Redick with this team. This is a guy who shoots threes. He shot 239 threes last year. Zaire Smith shot 40. In today's NBA, I love what Mikal Bridges does. And he plays defense. He can be a two-way guy. He can shoot, spot up. Doesn't create a shot, but I thought that would be a great guy to complement Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. But, this is Philadelphia, and I thought they took a step back here. Unless they're going, no, we don't draft guys who are ready to play now. If we draft guys who are injured, that's where you take Michael Porter, right? We take Embiid, we take Ben Simmons. Who else is injured here? Michael Porter. I mean, man, doesn't he feel like a 76er? Dan Patrick Show is brought to you by the great folks at Farmers Insurance. They have customizable home insurance packages, and they have offer the coverage options that can be tailored for your home turf. At Farmers, we know a thing or two. We've seen a thing or two. Discover home coverage options and more at farmers.com. A couple other items here, and that is Jerry West is up to something with the Clippers. He's up to something. I think the Clippers did well. Got a lot of guards there. We also found out that they're going to try to make it work in San Antonio with Kawhi Leonard. I'll go back to what I've been telling you for a long time. LeBron might look at the Lakers and go, that's where I want to end up. I don't think he wants to end up there this year, and all of a sudden he looks around and he goes, hello, anybody? Anybody in here to help me? Where's Paul and where's Kawhi and Chris Paul? And okay. So it still could come back to him staying one more season with Cleveland to see what Kawhi does, because Kawhi is a free agent in 2019. Maybe he's going to wait till then. Is Paul George going to sign a max deal in Oklahoma City? Is anybody going to actually take less to get out of their situation to play for the Lakers? But we heard that the Lakers did inquire about Kawhi Leonard, and the San Antonio Spurs shut that down. So there's still we got a week to go here, and there's some drama here. But if I'm LeBron James, I'm looking around going, okay, I got Colin Sexton. That's not enough for me to stay. Not enough. Even though Colin Sexton had this to say after he was drafted last night, as he was asked about recruiting LeBron to stay in Cleveland.
Man, LeBron, let's do it. Let's do it. I see you need a few pieces. That one extra piece this past season. Hey, let's do it. Let's go back to the finals. Let's do it.
All righty. What do you think LeBron is thinking as he's watching some kid who's, 4 or 5 years older than his son? He probably hadn't shaved yet, and he's going, let's do it. And LeBron's going, oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, Paul.
What if Colin Sexton got a little snarky? He said, LeBron, I have great court awareness. I always know what the state of the game is. I'm ready to go. A little jab. Hell of fun with it.
I got to watch one. I know what time it is. I know the score. I'm there to help you. What if Colin Sexton just said, hey, LeBron, good luck with the Lakers, man, because I'm going to bring it with the Cavs, and we're going to be coming after you, man. All the best, dude. This is my team. I'm the next Kyrie. Can I rent your house? Let me check out your crib here. Colin Sexton is either going to be the most watched, analyzed rookie or the least most watched and analyzed rookie. And it depends on LeBron James. Because if LeBron goes, see ya, I think we'll probably have different viewing patterns, and the networks will probably bring us few Cleveland Cavalier games. But all of a sudden, if LeBron stays, and you got Colin Sexton there, and I do like him. He's far from a finished product. He's not a great shooter right now. He's tough. He's not afraid, and not afraid for a big moment, and that's great at that position. But I don't think he's the reason that LeBron's going to go, yep, finally got my point guard here. Because LeBron, I think, would like to have somebody take the workload away from him a little bit. Playing every game, playing 40 minutes, I think he realizes, or he should at this age, if you want to extend this to 38 years of age, 5 more years, you better have somebody that you can drop off, the workload a little bit occasionally. All right, we'll come up with a poll question. Phone calls always welcome. Tweets, we love them as well. Reggie Miller will assess the draft in the final hour. We'll check in with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you cut Jameis Winston? A local columnist has suggested that. We ran the numbers on just how much it would cost you financially with that. We'll have that for you coming up. But it looks like the NFL is planning, according to reports, to suspend Jameis Winston first 3 games of the season for a groping incident in an Uber car. So have that for you. And that was 2 years ago. And also the timing of it, where they picked up his 5th-year option. That is for $21 million, but they can get out of it. All right, 14 after the hour, Doug Gottlieb will assess the draft from last night. He'll join us coming up next year on the Dan Patrick Show.
These days, news travels lightning fast, which is great if you're a sports fan. Between status updates, breaking news notifications, and Twitter feeds, you can always be up to the minute on every team and every game. And while this is great for sports fans, it's the opposite when it comes to buying a car. Go online and you're bombarded with numbers. Invoice, list price, dealer price. It's hard to know or even recognize a good price. But not anymore. Introducing True Price from TrueCar. It's the only price you need to know, because it's exactly what you'll pay for the car you want, including fees and accessories. How do you know if True Price is a great price? Because TrueCar shows you what other people paid for that same car you want, so you know how to recognize a good price. And your certified dealers know this. They set their True Price competitively so they can win your business. So when you're ready to buy a new car or a used car, visit TrueCar and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. So stop being bombarded with all of these numbers online. Get the only number you need to know with True Price from TrueCar. Some features not available in all states. Support for the Dan Patrick Show comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They understand that home plays a big role in your life and family, and that's why they created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 10th, with Rocket Mortgage, you get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. It's convenient. Our trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And in addition to getting a real mortgage approval in minutes, you can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you're getting the right solution for you. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully. Mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Dan, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Never know how.
Your broken AC may not be broken. It may just need a recharge with the Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Just $39.99 plus an additional $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Just pull the trigger and the Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Now $39.99 plus $15 prepaid Visa card. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Never know how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/18.
Got a stat of the day, play of the day coming up. your phone calls. McLovin, what kind of poll question do we have today?
Okay, before we get into the real poll question, I ran into this fan on social media who desperately wants me to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is Carmelo Anthony a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're done.
Wait, that was what the guy was desperate to get an answer on?
I think he thought it was more polarizing. Would make a great poll.
Well, that's why it is called the poll, in case it's polarizing. Yes, Paul.
Dan, this man and his family traveled all the way from Tampa, Florida up here, and they finally got to get their poll question in, so that was what they came all the way for.
They drove up from Tampa just to be able to ask McLovin.
I think they did some sightseeing as well, but that's part of it.
Well, the phone lines get busy, during the show, so sometimes you have to drive up. Okay,
understand this. With going into the Hall of Fame also includes your international play, also includes your college play. He won a national title as a freshman, and he's the leading scorer, I think, in Olympic history for the United States.
Done.
And he's a compiler in the NBA. He's one of the great scorers of all time. So, yeah, Carmelo is a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we asked. That is solved. Okay. This is a Paul Paps one. It's a skews negative. I want to distance myself.
Wow.
This is a draftee you will see least of next season. Marv Bagley with the Kings. Jaren Jackson Jr. with the Grizzlies. Mohamed Bamba with the Magic. Trae Young with the Hawks, because we like Trae Young, but the Hawks. And here's the wild card. Colin Sexton if LeBron is not in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Man, that's like a four-way tie.
I don't think there's a wrong answer in there. Trae Young his highlights are going to be shown more than anybody else, it feels like, or Luka Doncic. But I think,
Mo Bamba with the Magic, you are not going to see that.
Yeah, I don't know I mean, what are they going to show you with Mo Bamba? Although I really liked his personality. You just sound like a good kid. And even, DeAndre Ayton, they're sharp kids. But they're 19, 18, 20 years of age, and they're there on the big stage. But I don't know if you're going to tune into the Magic to watch Mo Bamba block 4 shots. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to guess you probably won't.
He's going to give you 8 and 8 and 4 blocks, probably.
He could.
By the way, the Kings roster, the 7-foot trend has not died in Sacramento. They now have 8 7-footers on their roster. Remember Skal Labissiere, and he's still there. Harry Giles is there. Willie Cauley-Stein, and Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, I think they were trying to take another Kentucky player if they could.
Yes, they didn't have a 7-footer, though.
But didn't Bagley and DeAndre Ayton play on the same high school team for 1 year? In Phoenix. Did they lose a game? Like, if they did, the coach should be fired. If I got Bagley and DeAndre Ayton, and that's my front line.
They were second in their conference, but they had a real tough conference.
How do you feel about your guy, Jaren Jackson Jr.? Feels like he might disappear a little in Memphis. He'll be good.
Yeah, he'll disappear.
But that's a tough spot right now.
Yeah, he's J-Jax Jr. III is going to disappear. I think he'll be a guy who plays right away, but I don't think J-Jax is going to get a lot of run.
He's at that
highlight-wise. Yeah. We don't show Memphis highlights when they're good, let alone when they're average. Yeah, Paul.
Hey, did you realize Buddy Hield is on your Sacramento Kings?
Yes.
I forgot all about that.
He had a good year, though.
Some interesting players.
Buddy can shoot it. What
the hell's Zach Randolph doing on the Kings?
I don't know. Zach is like as old as Vince Carter is, isn't he? The beauty about Zach Randolph is he's never lost any of his vertical. He didn't have any vertical to lose there. Yeah, Sacramento got the Aaron Fox there.
Harry Giles, Nigel Hayes, remember from Wisconsin?
Wait, he's on the team? I didn't think he got picked up. Oh, okay.
I've been trying to tell you guys about this Kings team for a year now.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. Just 2 days ago was a punchline in here.
Wait, what are you telling us about the Sacramento Kings?
They're going to be great.
Well, what's that mean?
I just said yesterday, I was just like, God, the Kings are going to be so great next year.
Okay, they're your Kings?
Yeah, they were going into last season. They were my Kings.
Playoff appearance? Question mark?
He was Willie Cauley-Stein.
How about 40
Aaron Fox
wins?
is my guy, man.
How about 40 wins? Not even going 500 for your Sacramento Kings.
I'm in.
You are?
Sure.
40 wins for the Kings. Yes, Paulie.
They won 27 last year. The last time they had 40 wins in a season, Seton was not in high school. Let's see, 07. Oh, Jesus. 05-06, they had 44 wins. Is this right?
And didn't I give you one of the greatest bets of all time yesterday, Paulie?
Yes.
With Grayson Allen. I said I'll give you the Celtics, the Jazz, and the Indiana Pacers. And then we take the rest of the field on who drafts Grayson Allen. So when...
It's almost like territorial rights.
Yes. So when I saw that Woj said that the Jazz will not pass up Grayson Allen, I go on, Grayson Allen is going to go with Quinn Snyder, and he's going to go to Utah Jazz.
I was hoping these teams had grown and weren't following
That would have been a great bet for you. And you could have gotten out of your shower of shame. Let's bring in Doug Gottlieb, Fox Sports College basketball analyst. Good morning, Doug. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. A chiropractor is not a doctor. A chiropractor is a very, very important person to know when you have a crick in your neck or a rib out. But they always want to put you on a treatment plan, and they always want to do x-rays when all I want to do is get adjusted. Sorry, that's yesterday driving, listening to this outstanding radio program.
Thank you, Doug. All right. Now, let me start with the Sacramento Kings. If I gave you over under 40 wins for the new and improved Sacramento Kings, you're taking the over or the under?
Under. Under. Look, I thought they got the number one prospect in the draft last night, and I think, look, De'Aaron Fox is a little disappointing, but year 2, he should be better, and they clearly tried to change the culture of that place. New arena is spectacular. I mean, look, I think there are brighter times on the horizon, but remember, it's 27 wins when half the league's tanking. And that's like... And you had teams that were just completely loaded up with injuries at the top. The Golden State Warriors cycled through injuries. You look at what happened with the Pelicans. You're still in the West. I would expect the West to get better, especially if LeBron comes and joins the Lakers. 40 wins is a big jump. 27 to 40 is a huge jump for that team. Doesn't mean they didn't do well last night, but just means we need to take a deep breath. I would take the under on that.
By the way, who defeated the Golden State Warriors twice last season?
So that would be the Sacramento Kings.
Absolutely. All right, the biggest surprise last night was?
I think to most people it would be Michael Porter Jr. sliding to Denver. Look, the injury issues are there, whether it's a back or a hip, but those are things that really scare people off. And then, there's just a sense of kind of entitlement and arrogance there to which, like, hey, dude, you played 3 games in college. Like, let's take a breath here. I think, he comes from a really good family, and his dad's done a great job protecting him from the real world, but Like, when you're raised in a bubble and told that you're great, sometimes you start believing a little bit too much. So I think him sliding was a surprise to a lot of people. Not as big a surprise in NBA circles, but a surprise because he was some people's number one prospect or number two prospect in the country coming into the year.
But I'm also fascinated, Doug, that you have to get to a certain point where you say that Michael Porter is worth the risk. So maybe not worth the risk at 8 or 7 or 9, but then you get to 14, and then he becomes worth the risk? Like, at what point does a guy who has question marks around him, health-wise, become worth the risk?
Well, Denver's a perfect example, right? Like, they have Jokic is a star. Jokic is the best player in the NBA that most non-NBA fans have never heard of. So they already have a nice little roster, some really good players, Gary Harris. So they don't have to depend upon him. He flames out at 14, whereas like Atlanta with Trae Young, they're going to trade their point guard. They're going to build the whole thing around him. If he fails, everybody gets fired, or at least the coach gets fired. So I think it depends upon where you are drafting, and how much you're depending on this player to come in and help you. I'm not sure if I'm look, I love Colin Sexton. I thought he was the best point guard in the draft. And I love that Cleveland took him, but I'm not sure if I'm Cleveland. If I'm losing LeBron, if I wouldn't have taken a swing, that's a home run swing for Michael Porter Jr. because if he's healthy, if he gets humbled a little bit, he can be an all-star. Whereas I don't know if Colin Sexton is an all-star as opposed to just a really, really good point guard. So again, I think it's franchise dependent, it's roster dependent, and then it kind of depends upon your GM and how confident they are that if the pick fails or if his body breaks down, you can survive it. Like Philadelphia, there's a team that could have taken a swing at him, considering they've taken, even with the previous regime, they had taken injured players and been willing to sit them for a year. Remember, if you sit them for a year, that's going to be essentially 2 years without playing basketball. That's not a good sign for how his body's going to hold up in the rigors of the NBA.
Doug Gottlieb, Fox Sports college basketball analyst, joining us. Dan Patrick Show. What Dallas did, I mentioned it yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised if they were looking for the heir apparent to Dirk Nowitzki and they went up for Luka Doncic. Are you surprised that they got him and what they gave up and what Atlanta did with getting Trae Young?
Well, look, there's two. Let's start with Dallas. Obviously, they gave up a lot, but I'm most confident that he's going to be a really good player. I don't know if I don't think he'll be an all-star, or maybe he's a one-time all-star. I have no idea. Because, look, he's got to change his body. He's got to get a little bit more athletic, which he can in the States. He's got to continue to improve his shooting. But he's going to be a good NBA player, and he's able to play right away. You put him next to Dennis Smith, and now you kind of got a backcourt that, there's a team they were trying, last couple years, they tried to be good, and they'd have injuries, and then they start tanking. So you don't really know what the Dallas Mavericks are, what their ceiling actually is. Did they overspend, next year's first-round pick? Probably not, because I think they know they were a lot better than their actual record because they tried to be bad. You should see the fourth quarter roster, the fourth quarter lineups that the Dallas Mavericks threw out there. They're guys that you had no idea. You need to go. People are scrambling, looking through, their media guides when they check into the game because Dallas was trying to be bad. So I don't think their first round draft pick is going to be terribly valuable next year. I think it's a really good pick. He's solid. He won an NBA, he won a Euro championship and a Spanish championship at 18 years old. I don't know how you could go wrong there, especially when you have the athleticism of Dennis Smith and you could put the two of those guys together. As for Atlanta, you bring a GM over and he comes from Golden State and he's trying to recreate Golden State and they have a chance of more first round picks next year, which you like. I think Trae Young's probably going to win Rookie of the Year because they don't have much else. They're going to give him the ball, spread it out, and just have him go. There's going to be nights when it's going to be great. There's going to be nights when it's going to be horrible. It's nights when he's going to give up twice as many as he gets. But they're going to play the numbers game and just try and throw a bunch of stuff at the wall. I like Horter, the kid they got from Maryland, who can play a bunch of positions, but I don't think he's great. So they're trying to do the Golden State light thing, and it's great. But Golden State has only worked once. We'll see if it works a second time in Atlanta.
Jerry West is up to something with the Clippers. What did you make of what the Clippers did?
I genuinely liked it. I'm not a huge Miles Bridges fan, but I think he's wait, so who they get? I'm trying. There's so much movement there. They got
Alexander.
Yes, I like everybody likes Alexander. The big question is, can he shoot? But he has. If you watched him with Kentucky, that team was kind of a mess. They had a lot of low basketball IQ guys, and he was just kind of a stabilizing force. The big question with him is, can he shoot? And then the big question with Jerry West is, hey, can Jerry West land a big free agent? Everything he's touched before has turned to gold. From Memphis to the Lakers to Golden State. He's Midas touch. If you can fix the Clippers now, he has to immediately go sit next to God. It'd be remarkable. But I like what they did in the draft. What I like most, or maybe one of the two or three, I like what Chicago did. Chicago did a really nice job. Wendell Carter's probably a starting big guy, and then the kid they got from Boise State is tremendous. Chandler Hutchison. He's actually Orangetown. Yeah, he's an Orange County kid. He's a 3-and-D. Developed under Leon Rice at Boise State. They got two really good players. But I don't think Carter's going to be a star, but he could be. But you got to get – it's like what Golden State did. You got to get a bunch of really good players and then luck out into one becoming a star or land a star as a free agent.
Yeah. And also with the Lakers, with Mo Wagner, is he a guy who sticks on this team?
Yes. They like Mo Wagner a lot. And he can shoot. He's smart. He's tough. He's not great at defending on the perimeter, but look, it's pretty obvious what the NBA is trending towards. Either as a big guy, either you're a rim protector or you got to be a floor stretcher, and you got to be able to cover on. It's a switch-happy NBA. If you can't do that, then you can't play in this league. Which brings us back to the number one pick, which I like DeAndre Ayton. He's a tremendous prospect, but the best thing he does is he's incredibly agile in the low post, right? And that's the part of the NBA that's being minimized. I came on your guys' show last year, and I will grovel and give it up to the guys because I believe who was it who said there's going to be a run on running backs in the NFL draft 2 years ago? It wasn't Seton, was it? Who was it? It was McLovin. And he's right. The problem is that drafting a running back in the first round when you can get one in the second or the third round. It's the same thing with center. Like the Robert Williams kid at A&M who Boston got. Like, I don't think he's great, but he could be a Clint Capella type, and you can win big with that. Whereas it's really hard to win big with a true low-post player. I know Ayton can face up and shoot the basketball, but that's the part of his game that he has to develop. The best part of his game is on the low post, and he's not really a rim protector defensively. So it goes against conventional wisdom, but I wouldn't have gone with the center number 1 overall because the NBA is telling you, don't throw the ball in low post. We're making it harder and harder to play through the post.
So you would have taken Bagley 1?
Yes.
Because he's a Chris Bosh type.
Yes, or even taking Doncic 1. The coach coached him. He coached him in for a Euro championship. You have a great relationship. You put the best players out there on the floor. You play small ball and you go. I would have considered it. Like, look, that thing was done a long time ago. The owner's an Arizona guy. The kid played a little high school in Arizona. Played college in Arizona. All that, and he was on many people's number 1 boards. I'm just looking at it and saying, okay, show me where the low post play, the low post center exists in the NBA playoffs. And if you're Phoenix, you're like, look, we've been so far from the playoffs, we can't even figure that out. But
True.
The league is clearly trending. Marcin Gortat's going to be given away by the Wizards. Dwight Howard can't find a job, and I know that Ayton's a better face-up shooter than either of those two, and he's younger and he's agile. He has no injury history. But look at the trend of the league, and you have to adjust to it because if you don't, you're going to be left with mismatched pieces. And that's kind of what happened to Oklahoma City. That's what happened to San Antonio in many ways. You're left with 2 post players or even 1 post player, and sometimes your best player can't be on the floor in key situations.
Doug, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us as always.
All right, boys. Listen, I know you guys are off in a week. We'll hold the fort down, and you feel free to call in from vacation and parts unknown. And that's not just you, Dan. McLovin can call in, Seaton can call in, even Fritzy can call in.
Thank you, Doug.
See you, fellas.
That's Doug Gottlieb, who apparently is filling in for us when we're on vacation. And Doug just invited me to call into my show while I'm on vacation.
Very thoughtful.
What part of vacation did Doug not understand? Doug Gottlieb, Fox Sports, college basketball analyst. All right, we'll come back. I got a stat of the day. I got a play of the day. Looking forward to Reggie Miller in the final hour. Get his assessment of the NBA draft. Yours as well. 877-3DP show. Back after this.
Hey, listeners, just wanted to take a minute to thank all our great sponsors and all of you great listeners for supporting this podcast. We certainly couldn't do it without either of you. And I wanted to remind you that you can support our sponsors by going to our show page at podcast1.com, clicking on the Support This Podcast button, and there you will see all our wonderful sponsors that help make this show possible. Thank you for downloading, subscribing, and of course, supporting. And now, back to the show.
Here at Podcast One, we love hearing from you. We read every tweet and comment you send our way, so don't miss your chance to take our summer listener survey. Just go to podcast1.com and click on the survey banner, or go to podcast1.com/mysurvey. It only takes a few minutes, and it gives you the opportunity to make a direct impact on your favorite shows. Tell us how you really feel, so we can get to know you better. We value your thoughts and participation, so check out the survey at podcast1.com/mysurvey, or click on the survey banner on podcast1.com.
Stay tuned for 60 seconds of AP News headlines right after this podcast.
Napa know-how.
Your broken AC may not be broken. It may just need a recharge with the Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Just $39.99 plus an additional $15 prepaid Visa card by mail. Just pull the trigger and brr. The Avalanche AC Recharge Kit. Now $39.99 plus $15 prepaid Visa card. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 6/30/18.
Oh my God.
The play of the day.
Running left, I got it. Play it.
This is the play of the day. Check this out.
Make your pitch to LeBron James to stay in Cleveland with you.
Man, LeBron, let's do it. I see you need a few pieces, that one extra piece this past season. Hey, let's do it. Let's go back to the finals. Let's do it.
All right, LeBron, the young bull has called you out. He wants you to stay with him in Cleveland.
Colin Sexton, 8th overall, making his plea for LeBron to stay. By the way, free agency June 29th. Has to either opt in or out of his current contract. Little baby come back by Playa, courtesy of ESPN there. Our play of the day brought to you by Farmers. Protecting your home team, Farmers' customizable home insurance packages offer coverage options you can tailor for your home turf. At Farmers, we know a thing or two. We've seen a thing or two. Discover home coverage options and more at farmers.com. We were talking during the live look-in about Adrian Wojnarowski. He was very coy last night. Now, I guess the consensus was all the reporters who were covering the draft, they weren't going to tip picks. Well, Woj maybe wasn't tipping them, but was certainly framing them in a way. He got cute last night in how he was approaching this. I don't know how his constituents are going to feel about this. I don't know how his bosses will feel about this, or the NBA is going to feel about this. But you didn't even have to read between the lines there with Woj and what he was saying, how he was describing what teams were going to do. Paulie, give the audience a couple of these Woj-isms.
Amongst the phrases were Chicago is zeroing in on Wendell Carter. Cleveland prefers Colin Sexton with the number 8 pick. New York has been focused on Kevin Knox of Kentucky. Sixers are targeting. Then they get a little cuter.
Grayson Allen's my favorite with Utah.
Yeah. Denver has cleared the way to choose Michael Porter Jr. with the 14th pick. Washington is locked in on Troy Brown. And my favorite actually is Phoenix is determined to select Zaire Smith with the 16th pick. The Spurs are fixated on Lonnie Walker with the 18th pick. And the Utah Jazz have no plans to pass on Grayson Allen with the 21st pick. The Lakers are unlikely to resist Mo Wagner with the 25th pick.
We can't resist you.
The Sixers are never.
We can't. We must take you. We must take you.
Boston is tantalized by Robert Williams.
Yeah.
Very snarky.
Yeah. Prefers, are targeting, focused on, locked in on, determined to select. So Woj not tipping his picks, but he certainly gave you an idea of what was going to happen there. But I wasn't bothered. But like, if you don't want to follow him, then just avoid Twitter. Now, that's what I tell people. I know you want to, Woj is valuable, but if you don't, I don't want to know the picks. I don't even know. I don't want to know where you're leaning. And I thought the way, the mothership framed the Michael Porter Jr. that, hey, here's 5 guys they could take. And then I went, no, they're taking Porter. Like I wasn't following Woj because I don't want to know the picks. And what I loved about when I did the draft on ESPN one year is nobody knew what the picks were. And I was there with Stephen A. Smith and Jay Billis was there, Fran Fraschilla was there, and they didn't know the picks. But I said we should react in real time. I mean, that's what the audience is going to do. And if we do our job, then we'll frame it in a way that they could go here or they could go there. Or, you could say you feel real strongly about this. That's what I think. That's the way you should handle the draft. Now, I do know that guys get the picks. And you will hear this, and you've heard this before, even with ESPN, with the NFL draft. They could go, or I'm hearing that, and then I go, okay, that's not what I want. If you say, this makes the most sense, but I think they're going to go here. Like, I'll give you longitude and latitude there. But I think when you start to make it seem like, I'm not sure, but this could happen, then I go, no, don't do that. But Woj on Twitter. But doesn't this come down to his competition on Yahoo Sports, McLovin?
Yeah, there was some early tipping by Shams at Yahoo, and Mark Stein had a couple, and there was some other NBA insiders. I think Woj saw that. It was like, I'm not going to let those guys get me.
Yeah, because I think there were, a couple of these guys were saying, hey, this is what's going to happen, or I'm hearing this is going to happen, and then Woj is going, wait a minute here. If you're going to, no, this is my corner.
Well, it's funny. I thought that at 6 o'clock or 5:30 he put out the top 6 picks. I thought he had it right. Then you reminded me this morning that he got Trae Young.
He had Trae Young going to Orlando,
right?
I believe.
At 6 or exactly.
Yeah.
But he was pretty darn close. So he kind of knew 2 hours before the draft the direction, but he had one wrong.
Yes,
I don't blame him though, Woj, because then there's going to be some stupid media column or a blog's going to be like, who had the best media reporter night? And be like, these guys crushed Adrian Wojnarowski. Where was he last night? He didn't get any picks right. They are sort of ranked and criticized on that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you don't want to follow him, then don't follow him. But as far as on the actual broadcast, then I don't want you tipping picks. That you're the home of the draft. You can tip your picks on your Twitter account, but not on the actual. And look, Woj, when he was on, he always seemed like he just was doing something else. He's probably tweeting. I can just see that the Philadelphia is going to take, and let's go to Adrian Wojnarowski. That's right, Reese. The 76ers, like it was just so in the moment, like, hey, this is the last second up to the minute, and I got it for you right here. But he was doing 2 jobs at the same time. So it was fun. It was fun to watch last night. But tipping picks there. All right, did we decide on our poll question?
Yeah, we had which of the top 6 picks are you going to see the least of next year?
Okay.
I got bad news for you. Your guy, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Mo Bamba just passed Jaren Jackson Jr. Mo Bamba of Orlando, 31%, then Jaren Jackson. Then Trae Young in Atlanta, which is surprising because he's the guy you would want to watch. But I understand because Hawks is sort of a basketball wasteland.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. You're going to get highlights, though, good and bad, out of Trae Young. Yeah, Paul.
Like last year, early in the season, Malik Monk was playing pretty well for Charlotte, or like a preseason game. Like, I'm really going to watch this guy. I didn't watch a lot of Malik Monk last year. No offense.
I didn't even know he was on the floor. I remember McLovin saying, gosh, I wish the 76ers would have drafted Malik Monk. And I go, why?
He had a couple big games. I like Malik Monk.
Yeah.
The Hornets were a mess last year.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. All these teams are a mess. So it's not the player always, as Doug Gottlieb pointed out. I mean, come on, Orlando, you could bring a great player there. What's going to happen?
Former NBA center Brendan Hayward, who we've had on the program and I think has got a bright future in this business, he said the locker room hated Dwight Howard. I'm not sure if Charlotte is rebuilding or if they're just trying to get Dwight Howard out of there, but it was clear the locker room did not like Dwight Howard. It's simply because of how he goes about his business day to day in that locker room, Hayward added. Now, he's not the guy going around slapping people in the face, but he's hard to deal with, doesn't accept responsibility, cries a lot, has bad tendencies, awful body language. So all these things contributed to why he was shipped out of Charlotte. People I talked to behind the scenes, guys were just sick and tired of his act. Let me see. Goes on to say, I was speaking to a team source mid-season. Months before the Howard trade, he told me the Hornets players' frustration that Howard simply wouldn't run the play that was called sometimes in key last-minute situations. Also, for a man with a superhero body, Howard's screen setting often terrible, according to the source. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess his former coach, Steve Clifford, was known as the Howard Whisperer. Oh, man. I mean, you look at Dwight Howard's career. He comes out of high school, goes to Orlando. It's a really good story. He's Superman. Now, the fact that he wanted to be Superman in Orlando after Shaq had been Superman in Orlando, okay. You get your team to the finals, and then all of a sudden, I heard from somebody, a source that said, he thinks he's bigger than Orlando. He wants to get out. He wants to do other things. He wants to be a businessman. And I went, okay. And then all of a sudden, he ends up in Los Angeles, and if you weren't going to keep up with Kobe, then you had no chance of surviving there. Yeah,
if you keep hearing these reports that go back a number of years at this point to being soft and being a cancer in the locker room, you would think that there's got to be some truth to how he conducts himself because a number of teams and teammates have had these issues with him.
Oh, well, how many teams has he been on now? And it feels like he's on a new team every year. Now there's the possibility he could end up with Boston, since they bought out his contract with the Nets. Maybe Golden State as well. But I would only take him if he knew what his role was and that he's not Dwight Howard All-Star. He's not. He's Dwight Howard role player. All right, coming up, we'll check in with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is it time to cut Jameis Winston? We'll discuss next.
Hi, this is Ben Domenech, the host of the Federalist Radio Hour. We're a daily show coming to you 5 days a week from Washington, D.C., where we interview our nation's top journalists, politicians, authors, chefs, economists, entertainers, and more. If you're looking for a contrarian discussion on news, politics, or culture, give us a listen and subscribe at podcastone.com, the new Podcast One app, or at Apple Podcasts.
Now ADT can help protect your family at home and on the go. Get started with ADT's best offer, an ADT starter kit and security camera installed free, a savings of $449. Plus, you'll get ADT Go, the new family mobile safety app and service for 24/7 emergency response. Go to ADT.com/podcast today to take advantage of ADT's best offer with 36-month monitoring contract, easy pay, and QSP. Early termination and activation fees apply. Additional charge for ADT Go premium services after 3/31/18. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com. Offer ends April 1st.